Hello, everyone. Welcome inside the Red Earth Production Studios for another edition of YBMcast, powered by Game 7 Baseball. And that's what we're doing here today. We're talking some Game 7 Baseball with our good buddy, Dave Penning. Dave, welcome to the show, man.
Brian, as always, thanks for having me.
Tournament wrap-up show. It's one of the fun ones. Got my buddy here, Mitch Thomas. We're going to talk a little baseball. It was a good weekend of baseball out at Game 7. I really enjoyed it, man. We had some good matchups. Gave away our top award to a nice young man there from the Southeast Missouri Cardinals down around the Jackson area, Preston Hinkabine. And I say that deliberately because I don't want to mess up the young man's name, right? I mean, I really don't. That's tough.
Did you ask him a few times how to say it?
I asked the coach.
Fair enough.
I did. I asked the coach.
He should know.
But, man, we had the catcher, Shipman, for that Southeast Missouri team in the championship game. 2 doubles, back-to-back, and a home run.
Oh, boy.
At CNH.
Over the big field?
Yes.
Oh, let's go.
It was a poke, man. It was really, really fun. Great day of baseball. The sun was shining, 71 degrees. The only thing it was just tough, is that wind was blowing straight in at CNH, and I think I swallowed about 5 pounds of dust.
Nice. Nice.
That was about it, though. That's the only negative of it.
Yeah, the allergies were bad this weekend. I had a softball this weekend, and we didn't play, obviously, this weekend for baseball. And Saturday was brutal, though.
Oh.
We got pushed back. Did you push back, Dave, on Saturday, or did you start early?
No, we did push back to a 9 o'clock start, and it helped a lot because I was over in, Dave and I were over in O'Fallon, Illinois, and it was brisk.
Yes, to say the least. Yeah, it was a ton of wind. I mean, we were in Warrenton, Missouri, playing out there at Warrenton's complex, which is I think is a really nice complex and nice fields out there in Warrenton. But it was windy, and it just howled. Like, it just came over the tops of the trees, and it's kind of down and had some high banks around it, so it just swirled right down into it. So it was brutal out there. Sunday was much, much better. It was beautiful. It was a long day at the park for us, so it was. And
fun. That was your softball group?
That was our 18U softball group. Yep.
Oh, very good.
So,
very good.
Yeah, I coach a little bit of everything.
Yeah,
high school baseball, 14U baseball, and an 18U softball. So I'm busy.
Keeping it
maybe not as busy as Dave is over there. I got to leave the park a little earlier than 9 on a Sunday.
So let's talk a little bit about O'Fallon, Illinois. Masters gave away some green pullovers. Loved that weekend. Scotty Scheffler, big shout out to Scotty Scheffler, Masters champion, first timer there. It's big time stuff. Talk a little bit about the weekend over there, Dave.
Yeah, it was. I will deem it as a challenging weekend. You know, anytime you lose 40% of the fields that you're initially scheduled to play on, it presents a huge challenge for you. But, Mr. Schmidt and I scratched the hair that we do have left on our head and pulled it off. And we're able to relocate the teams over there. If you're not familiar with what I'm referring to, they're turfing the infields over there in O'Fallon, Illinois. And we did not learn until Tuesday morning that the 4 fields 5 through 8 that we played on would be completed. So yeah, it was challenging. So we had to move 4 other fields over to the Missouri side because we knew that those had no chance of playing. But we got them relocated over to the Missouri side, and we communicated with the teams, and they were just happy for us to find them a place to play, which we sent them over to Ozzy's and CNH, was 2 great ballparks. So,
it's funny because last week you left the show early. Remember, Dave's got to go check out and see what's going on, and this isn't anything. It's because usually I communicate with Dave and whatnot, but I'd texted, I'd emailed, I didn't see much. They were pretty buried in that stuff. And yeah, because you had the what was it, 10 or 11U over at C&H on the field out front.
Yeah, we moved the 10s over to C&H, and then the 14s moved to Aussies, 13 AAA to Aussies, and there's one more, maybe the 7U. The 7U was moved to Aussies, and I think that's it that we moved around. But
That's not an easy thing to do on Wednesday, is it?
not at all, because you're not only moving the teams and communicating with them, you're also moving staff, you're also moving umpires, so it affects a lot of people. And once again, our guys were very, very receptive to the moves and changes, and I appreciate each and every one of them.
There you go, man. I love that and I think this is always good. I think the transparency there, people understand, on a tournament weekend, well, why'd we have to move? What's it? The difficulty sometimes just it isn't anything you guys have control of. That's the park. They're working hard. I'm sure rain and different things have really slowed down the ability for them to get those fields finished. Correct?
Yeah, the turf was actually held up. Nationwide shipping problems, and that was a victim of that. And then with the rainy weather during the week, throughout the week, the last month that we've encountered and had really put a damper on their ability to get it done. But I tell you what, they worked hard, and man, it's nice over there. It's a very nice ballpark. The infields are now turf, and they always had turf on 9 and 10. So we knew that those would be ready, but we were sweating the other four, and naturally we knew that the 1 through 4 had no chance of being ready by that particular weekend. So we went ahead and were proactive and communicated with the teams and got them over to a nice accommodating facility.
Go ahead.
That's the park over there in O'Fallon. That is the place that has the soccer fields, the water park in front. Is that the one that added the turf?
Yes, and there was a soccer tournament going on over there as well. So that place jam-packed. Parking was at a premium, I'll say.
I would say so. I've been playing over there since my daughter had played, and that's she last played in 2014. And I always said, man, this park would do wonders if it could have more turf. And then at that time, they didn't have the baseball field and that back softball field turfed. They didn't even have them up. They didn't even have fencing back there. It was just an open field by those ponds. And so I always said that, man, this would be a really nice venue, because I always thought that the colleges could come in there and play on those little quads. And because I was coaching college softball at the time too. So I was like, man, this is a nice little park. I like the park. I obviously didn't get a chance to go over there and play. I think we were going to look to play over there, but we had changed some dates around. So
yeah. Do you have some dates over there still later in the season, don't you, Dave?
That's the only one for O'Fallon. We do have Edwardsville 4 more times, which is a beautiful complex. 4 fields over there, but it goes up to 12U. Actually, we were there this weekend for Easter.
Oh, okay. Very good. Very good. So a lot of stuff going on over in Illinois there. Good parks, great stuff. So now that we got everybody there, the road to the championship was pretty tough. I mean, there was some really good ball games in every division. I didn't see too many gimmies. Did you?
No, that's the parity there was over in that Masters Illinois was great. I mean, you alluded to the fact that I didn't get out of there until 9:00 on Sunday. That was due to the first, I think, 2 games right out of the box going into extra innings. And, with bracket play, you have to have a winner. It's not like pool play where you can end in a tie. So they kept going. I think the first one went 3 extra innings and the second 2 extra innings. So, yeah, it was some good parity over there. Some really good ball games, really good championship games as well. The 12U AA division, you can check those scores out. It's all archived on game7baseball.com under past events, past results. But that was a really, really good bracket.
Well, let's just take a look because we have them right here, Dave. And as you're talking, we got the 12U AA championship. Rawlings Tigers, Coach Dearberg, and the Southern Illinois Strikers, which the Strikers, they were playing in the 10U division over at CNH, I believe, as well.
Yeah, they brought two teams.
Yeah, so you've got the Rawlings Tigers coming out of that championship 8-7. Good ball game. And I always think you see some of the bigger scores later in the weekend. It was still close because coaches are running out of pitching.
Yeah,
They're
there
just
was a game earlier, the 8 o'clock game in that bracket, a 3-2 ball game. I think they finished in an hour. They completed all 6 innings, 3-2 ball game. I think they completed in like an hour and 10 minutes. So that was
Under Armour
a really good starting at 8 a.m. there.
Oh wow,
That's the Under Armour prospects in the Moco tribe. Is that Missouri Columbia? What is Moco? Do you know?
Yeah, they're like Columbia, Illinois area.
Oh, okay, Columbia, Illinois. Okay, so that's the tribe there. So 3-2 ball game, a lot of good stuff. So I think that's very interesting when you see those types of situations. Then your 12U major that was out there. It looks like the Missouri Gators run out of pitching. That's always what it looks like to me.
That's deceiving because that was a 0-0 ball game all the way up to the 5th inning.
Really?
Yes.
So again, like I said, I think you maybe had your one guy because the Under Armour prospects ended up winning that game 8-0 over Coach Quills. I think it's Keyless. From the Missouri Gators, and I've seen his teams. He's got a good quality team, and I can see that as you're talking about is 0-0, but you're in that championship. You've played through the weekend. You might not have quite the arm at the end of that. Correct, Dave?
Well, yeah, like I alluded to, the score, the final outcome was very deceiving because I was right in between the two there, getting ready to present the awards, and between field 7 and 8 there, and I was talking to one of the parents there who's also a coach, Mr. Calkins there. He's like, oh, it's 0-0 in the 5th. I'm like, wow, this is a really good game. And I got summoned off to another field to present some 11U awards. And then when I came back, it kind of opened up in that one inning. But, yeah, that was the final score there is not what it was a very good ball game up until that last inning.
It's always going to be one play that opens up the floodgates. You know, it's a walk and a bloop and then an error, and the next thing you know, you're down 4-0, and then the wheels kind of fall off mentally. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I can see that happening.
Absolutely, and especially at 12U. I mean, kids are learning how to deal with sometimes the adversity that happens. But I love the fact, and that's what you said. Sometimes we look at these scores and you're like, oh, 8-0, they got run ruled. What? Well, wait a minute.
Well, I'm victim of some of those. I can. When the last couple of weekends, we played Game 7, and I had a couple 8-2 scores, and I felt like for most of the game it was, we were up 2-1 or 2-0, and then 4-2 for most of the game, and then all of a sudden it was a couple plays that it makes that 8-2 score look like we got beat up pretty bad. But I like to be competitive, and then all of a sudden you have to take that out. 5 innings of being 0-0. That's got to feel good.
Yeah.
The last 2 innings we can learn from as coaches. We have to make sure we do a really good job of how we present that information to the kids. It's 5 good innings of baseball.
You're getting a lot of stuff over from that Southern Illinois. You had the SI Shockers who won the 13U AA over the Rawlings Tigers. Talk a little bit about what you're seeing coming out of Southern Illinois there, Dave.
Well, not only Southern Illinois, this weekend was a very, very good mix of teams. We had teams from up near Chicago come down. We had teams from Kentucky. We had teams from Indiana. It was a very good mix of teams, and our local teams really, really appreciate that because they like to see new talent coming through as we do. So, very good weekend for baseball, Brian. I'm glad we got it in. With all the movement that we had to do with losing 40% of one park, and here in Missouri and Illinois, we had 107 teams. Wow. So it was no cakewalk. And then in Tennessee, we had 101. So that's 208 altogether in one weekend. So overall, a very good weekend.
Very good.
Yeah, I'd say so.
And I will say this: the umpires we had over at the Masters in Illinois did a great job.
There you go. Outstanding. And I'll come back to that. I like that point, and I'm going to come back to that. We had the 13U AAA Major Championship, went to the Under Armour Prospects. I think that's Rogers' squad there, isn't it? Don Rogers' squad?
Yeah, he doubled up. He won 12U AAA Major and 13 AAA Major. So good weekend for the Rogers household.
Yes, indeed.
Mr. Rogers.
And his son is the starting catcher right now for Coach Perkins out at Francis Howell. So he's got some good ball players in the mix there. They defeated Coach Sauer's 13U Gators, which is a good squad. So those are two really good baseball teams at that level. They're really two good quality clubs in this region. They can go pretty much throughout the Midwest and compete and win some tournaments. So that's really good baseball right there. And then the 14U AA event to finish off the Masters there. Oh, went scrolling by it, sorry. Wow. Now that I would not, the Riverhawks took care of the Illinois Gators, Coach Yates' team, and that's a really good, you saw the Illinois Gators over at
First
Ozzy's.
weekend out, first weekend.
That's a
they
good
won it, correct?
Yeah, they
were
won
the
that.
champions.
Beat Gas House, and the Riverhawks come back, beat the Illinois Gators 8-1 in that championship game. So good stuff there. Riverhawks,
Oregon, Illinois. I had to look that up. I had to Google it. It's up north, like 4 hours away, a little west of Chicago. So they traveled quite some, 4 hours away to come, and we, like I said, we appreciate that.
Oregon, Illinois. And you had over in the other 14U division for the Show Me Slam, there was the Winfield Wolves. They had traveled down. They were up from north around Chicago area. He said that was like, I think, 35 minutes west of Chicago. So, yeah. And they're a good, solid squad.
I was thinking Winfield when I saw it, because obviously I'm trying to pay attention to the 14U age group. I thought it was Winfield, Missouri. I was like, I never heard of these guys. Where are they from?
And that's the thing. Like you said, Dave, you got some good. I love the all the different directions. It's really good to see some of these teams, and I'm going to talk a little bit about. We're first going to do this. Show Me Slam 9U champions. We had here the Midwest Rebels lost to the Montgomery County Bombers. Montgomery County, that's west of St. Louis. Isn't that out?
It's I'd say about 20 minutes past Warrenton.
Okay.
Montgomery County, Montgomery City, Highway 19. I travel that area a lot. So, yeah.
There you go. Took the 9U championship there in the Show Me Slam. 11U, which was out there. That's one of the ones you guys moved. The Southern Illinois Strikers defeated the St. Louis Pros in a very good baseball game, 4-3. Another tight game, championship game. That was still going on when we were wrapping up at the 14U. So that was a tough ball game there for those guys. Oh, that was out at Westhoff. I'm sorry, that was at Westhoff. My bad. The 12U was out at, I'll get it right here in a minute, man. It's too much for the brain, bro.
It's Tuesday.
Now you know how I felt over the weekend.
Well, we know how you felt, Dave.
Then we had the 12U championship AA. Rawlings Tigers lose to the Pacific Indians, folks coming up from Pacific, 17-13. That was a slugfest there. And then want to get to our spotlight 14U. It was a really good bracket. I got a little bit to say about this. I think the teams were pretty evenly matched. The Adidas Athletics played very well. Gas House played very well. The SEMO Cardinals, which won it. The games, the Winfield Wolves, as I said, coming down from Chicago, played very well. And the Gas House, we got there on Sunday afternoon, and we streamed the last part of the semifinal between the Midwest Futures and Gas House baseball, Coach Basta's team. He had a young man on the mound, Drew. Boy, why do I say that? Cameron Burris threw a complete game, allowed 1 run in 7 innings. And he was throwing very well. And the Midwest Futures, that team, Coach Ettinger, he's got some kids that can swing the bat. And he was missing barrels, got a lot of soft contact, and it was just a really well played game defensively all around. And and the Southeast Missouri Cardinals took care of Winfield in the other semifinal. That championship game, if you want to watch it, it is available. It's on Youth Baseball Midwest. It's on our channel. You can go watch it and watch these teams. The final was 6-2, and that's still a pretty good ball game. But it was close throughout. The pitchers, struggled in that first inning, got their composure, went into the 4th inning, and that's when SEMO kind of broke it open. They scored 3, 2 outs. Bases are loaded. 2 outs, 3-2 count.
Oh, man.
And the young man that is our top award winner that we mentioned cleared the bases with a double off to the wall. And that's really kind of what
broke that game open.
Yeah. And then later, Shipman, the catcher for SEMO, hit a 2-run blast in the 6th that kind of cemented that, because Gashouse had scored a run in that 6th inning, made it 4-2, and then that home run, it just kind of deflated. It was tough. I mean, it was a shot. And that's what it says. Shipman, man, he was 3 for 4, 2 doubles, a home run, and 2 RBIs with, I think, a run scored. I mean, that's pretty much getting it done right there. Don't you find?
I'm trying to figure out how the other guy got the
because it's the tournament.
Okay, I got you.
Tournament outstanding player.
Okay.
We talked to the coaches and the criterias that we have. As Dave said, Dave knows this. We talk about that player being, not that Mr. Shipman is not. I'm not saying that, but we leave that. We talk with the coaches. But we talk about them off the field presence, academia, and that they've had a go. And not to mention, this kid did have a good game. He was
clearly.
2 for he was 2 for 4, yeah, with 3 RBI. So I mean, he had a good overall tournament. So.
Oh, I'm just being nosy, And I'm part of the show, and I don't know that I know the criteria all the way. I don't know that we've talked about it. So now everybody kind of has an idea what the.
I guess we have. I guess we haven't brought that up, have we, Dave?
Or did I not pay attention?
I don't think we've talked about it this year, have we? And gone into those things.
No, it's on the document that we send out, though.
Yeah.
All the criteria of that. So, Mitch, you might need to read up on that a little bit.
I don't read.
I don't.
I'm a jock. I get the RSVPs. I know what that means, and I click a button. I don't read what's in it. I show up and I am impromptu. I wing it.
But you look good. You look good. So that counts.
I try. I wear black because it's slimming. And one time I wore green, and all you could see was my face. So that was interesting. They don't allow me to wear green in here. I think I look good with orange and green. It's a Christmassy vibe, spirit,
Oh man, I don't know where you're going, bro.
I have no idea. It's Tuesday. It feels like it's so far away from the weekend. I'm tired.
Oh man, but you know what? It was great because we were able to stream that game live. We've talked about this a lot. And Justin and I, we went into this. We didn't loud it. We didn't say a whole bunch about it because we really didn't know how it was going to come off because bandwidth is an issue and things like that. But it really went well. We've got a few new cameras that we're posting. We're working on these things. Hope to get better. I called the game. It's not just putting it up there and it's static. We had 2 cameras working on this thing. We're going to get better, and we're hoping, and we should be able, hopefully, depending, to stream the Mother's Day championship game as well. That's our goal, bandwidth permitting, and we're able to get those things done. That's our goal. So Saturdays, when we come out to the ballpark, we love just chatting it up with folks. We get some highlights. We get the kids over and talk to them, do trivia, which is always fun. We did, and there was some great kids. You know what? It was so hilarious, Dave. You get a kick out of this. The St. John River Dogs. We were down there with the Winter Workout Tour in 2021. And then I've seen their teams around. They come up and play, and they do a lot with Game 7. And there's this one young kid. And the terrible things, I'm getting old, and the gray hair is sucking my brain power. Isaac, yes. He recognized. He comes strutting over, man. He goes, "We got trivia going, right?" I said, "Yes, we do." He goes, "I'll bring the team over after the game."
Let's go.
He was ready, man. And he, sure enough, here he comes, had the whole team.
How did you do on the trivia?
They did good.
All right.
Yes, they did good. It's perfect. I love that stuff. That's why we do it. It was so fun. The kids are getting a kick out of this. We got the baseball cards there, and it's a lot of fun. And, the one thing about Game 7 baseball, and we've talked about this with Dave and Dave a lot, is hopefully it's an event. The parents are having a good time. Everybody's enjoying themselves. And we try to just add to that just to enjoy. It's a weekend of baseball. It should be relaxing. It should be fun. And I want to give a shout out, like you did, Dave, to the umpires for that 14. The guy behind the plate who did that semifinal in the championship game, and then the blue out in the field, they did an outstanding job. The guy was great behind the plate, very consistent. You knew what you were getting with him. Did a great job. Congratulations to that blue crew. They did a great job.
It's tough for umpires right now. If you haven't paid attention to what's going on in high school sports, it is tough for umpires right now.
It is.
Please give them some love, man. They make mistakes, and obviously the only people complaining is the people it goes against. But we should not be putting games in umpires' hands. That's between the lines. They're allowed to make mistakes. I mean, your kid struck out two times, and you're worried about an umpire safer out call or trapping a ball in the outfield that might cost you a game. It's not about the trophy. It should be about your efforts and your attitude, on that ball field. So I'm a little less mean to umpires these days as I start to learn that you get frustrated, obviously, as a coach when your team maybe not playing, they're performing well, and it seems like the umpires are the ones that get it taken out on, right? So, hats off to those umpires working really hard. And in the high school levels, I'm seeing umpires one game, having one umpire there. There was a young lady in Kansas City coaching or umpiring a female game. She got punched while she was walking off the field. One umpire in a game, not having two, gets socked in the eye by another mom, and that's just not okay. We're representing the wrong thing here as adults, and so we have to do better. We do. You're right. What Dave's got going on over there, I have had nice times with his umpires. They have knowledge of the game. They've played the game. Some of them. I had a couple younger guys the first weekend out at Ozzy's when we went down to Branson. We had an older gentleman and a younger kid. They were kind of trying to work together because this is a new kid, umpiring at this level or just, very little experience. So it was nice to see a veteran trying to take the time to teach the young man, and you have to appreciate that. And there was calls that didn't go our way for sure. Strike zone got tight, but I asked the right questions. Umpire didn't mind, and if we just approach it with that way, us coaches need to shut the parents up. That's our job. Let us get thrown out. Let us stick up for the kids if it's needed. Those parents stop worrying about the small stuff.
And to that point, Dave, you guys do some recruiting and looking for guys that are coming out of college that have played baseball that have an understanding of the game, don't you?
I don't want to give away all of our secrets.
You just did.
I love that. Just like
cut that, Justin.
Right.
I understand. I'm not going to.
I will say I want to thank. I'll take this time to thank all the parents and coaches that did take the time out of their busy days and respond via email, text message, and voicemail. There were abundance of them this week, And that's why I wanted to give a shout out to the guys on that side and both sides of the river, Missouri and Illinois. They did a great job, and I could tell just by the amount of positive emails and voicemails that I received this weekend. It was a breath of fresh air. It was really nice to get those, and that's always welcoming. And I like to thank everybody who took time out of their day to send a nice little note or a voicemail or a text to me. So it goes a long ways, and I do forward that to the individuals. I try to track them down. We have it archived on who was on field, 8 or A or B or whatever at the 12 o'clock time slot. And I keep it on file for them because Mitch alluded to, we do have a bunch of young guys who are looking to further their career and not only maybe baseball, but in life. And I use that if it comes out, if they want me to write a job referral, I accompany those emails along with it, and they appreciate it. I've helped a lot. I mean, not me personally, but Game 7 has, written a bunch of referral letters, and I keep all those archived that helps the individuals out. So thanks once again to all those who dropped a nice little note to us this weekend.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, you never know the route that you might get to the next level. I met a guy who was a little undersized as an athlete, couldn't make it in professional sports, and next thing you know he ended up in professional sports, being able to throw batting practice. You've seen umpires that have played a low-level college end up being D1 college umpires. You never know what that path may take for these young individuals. So let's encourage them versus give them a little bit of heat if you need to, but make sure that it's just a little.
And I will always say this, and Dave, it's not a matter. It's just a fact. We understand, and I've been on that side as an umpire. If it's a close call, if you cannot take a little bit of the, oh, come on, Blue, I mean, get out. But we don't want you out. Just understand that if a coach comes out and asks you a question, give him an answer. Tell him what you saw. If he goes, all right, if you can do that, be confident in what you do, he goes back to dugout. That's the game. That is the game. He has to do that as a coach, in my estimation. As you said, you're defending your players, and if your players see that, coach is like, it's a close call, let's keep moving. And then you talk to the players, let's keep moving. That doesn't matter. It's over. If the coach gets carried away, you have, as an umpire, those things to say, coach, that's a warning, go back in the dugout. You can put them in the dugout. That's just the way those things are. And everybody, but then, as you said, the coach then needs to make sure that the parents aren't getting carried away. That's his job, as you said, to deal with umpires, not the parents. And if you and umpires, keep your nose out of the stand sometimes. If you hear unruly parents, walk over to that coach between innings and say, Coach, it's getting carried away over there. Please help me out. We don't want you getting thrown out of this game because of your parents. It's an easy thing. These things are easy things to deal with. Whether he likes it or not, that's just the way it is.
Yeah, professionalism goes a long ways, and it has to go on both the coach and umpires. One of my biggest things I have to do is I have to get first names from both umpires. That way, if I have to address a call, I can say, time Blue, and I'll reach up to him and say, hey, Jared, I saw something a little bit different. Would you ask? And if I approach with the first name, I can usually get that response. Sometimes I go, what were you thinking? I saw something completely different. And, go ask your partner. He's like, I'm not going to do that. Why would I do that? And so it's a professional approach on both sides, coaches to umpires to coaches. And I just, so far from playing in 2 Game 7 tournaments I enjoy playing it because I think the level of play is worth it. I think that you have very evenly matched teams. Yes, you have good AA teams. That's fine, right?
Yeah.
They deserve to be in the spot that they're doing. They will challenge themselves as they get down the road or whatever. I just love the competition level right now at Game 7.
I just saw a kid playing on a AA team go 3 for 4, 2 doubles off the wall at C&H at the 336 mark and hit one out. Okay. We talk about AA. I'm just saying. Okay?
He's good.
Just saying. He's a good baseball. That's just a good baseball player.
You don't know if he can go up to the next level and do the same thing.
Right? We'll see.
He may be only able to hit, 65 to 70. He can't hit 72 to 76 if that's what the difference between pitching levels are to double A, triple A levels. But I again, seeing these names it kind of repeat themselves, you're starting to pay attention, and it's starting to like have these desires on who you want to compete against. It does for me. I mean, I'm a coach that loves to compete, right? And I coach it between the lines, or compete between the lines between the other coaches. I try to make the right moves, make the, help the umpires a little bit to get on my side if I can, going back to umpires. But I love, again, you walk out there, it doesn't seem like there's a bunch of 12-0 ball games.
Yeah.
It is somewhere close. We have tied a couple of games. We have won a couple of games. We've won a couple run games. We've lost a couple of those. You're always in it. So the adrenaline is always going. You're always motivated. It's fun. It's fun to be a part of competition.
And that speaks to what we've discussed, and Dave have talked about this. A tournament director and their job, they're working hard to create a competitive field. Correct, Dave?
Yeah, as we start to get some history under our belt, there's always every year. I don't care. I mean, there's a lot of teams that do stay together and have the same 11, 12, 13 man roster. However, there is a bunch of turnover from year to year, and as we get some history under our belt in 2022, once we get in like mid-May, teams are going to have history under their belt, and then that's when Dave and I start to look at, hey, you know what, these guys, we need to contact them. We probably need to move them up to AAA, or you know what, hey man, these guys lost a couple players. They're still wanting to challenge at a higher level. However, we'll talk with the coach and say, hey coach, would you want to drop down to AA this weekend, and just to communicate with them so we can keep that parity. And you guys as coaches, you do a great job. You pick up the phone, you drop us an email, and have us look into teams that maybe, like I say, slip through the cracks, and we look into it. We check their if they're playing other places, we look into their history there, and we do our homework. We just don't throw it up on the wall and hopefully it sticks. It's a lot of work that goes into it, and I think that is our product speaks for itself. And when we get to mid-May here, you can start to look for some jostling around and some movement with some classifications for sure.
Yeah, you're going to see. Because I asked, I'm obviously we have Gas House inside the hitting zone facility, and so I've got to see Basta's team, and I wasn't very sure. I wasn't sure where they were at, because you can only see so much in a batting cage, and I don't see how they field and throw and stuff like that, and they're very different than the other 14U groups that are in there, even that Premier or ours, or even other 14U Gas House, and they were different. The size is different, and I'm hoping that Basta goes out and challenges this group and a level. And I think that he ultimately will, because his goal is to teach these kids and prepare these young men. So I don't think he's going out and chasing trophies. He's ended up in the finals, I think, 3 out of the all 3 weekends he's been in.
Yeah.
I know he's won one of them and finished runner-up twice, right? Didn't he finish runner-up this past weekend?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I mean, at some point he's going to want a challenge. But he's as good as his team is. He hasn't won it all 3 times in a row. So.
I like AJ Stovall, their third baseman. That kid made some plays. Got a great arm across the bag. I think size. He's got good speed. He gets on the base paths. Good luck throwing that kid out. I mean, good luck with that.
You're not.
So I mean, that's what I mean. I love seeing this, and the more we're doing games like this, we're seeing these kids, and it's giving us a better look at all this. So I'm enjoying that. And again, last thing here, we'll finish up today. Our top award went to Preston Hinkabine from the Southeast Missouri Cardinals. And congrats to that young man. He is now entered in for the contest for the scholarship award, the Super 7 Scholarship Award. We'll have that we'll have one more player at the World Series, and we'll announce the winner of that. And right now we're working on a good amount. I think there's like 1,000 to 1,250 somewhere in there. I've got to look at that, and we're still looking to get more of that scholarship fund at the end of the year awarded to one of these young players. So we're looking forward to that, ain't we, Dave?
Yeah, and if any of you corporate people out there or own your own business and want to donate towards this, it's going straight to the winner of the Super 7 award for a scholarship of their choice, an institution of their choice. So we have information for that. Just contact Brian or myself, and we'll get you on the right path.
Absolutely. So a lot of good stuff happening. It's a great weekend of baseball again. Really good weekend. Looking forward to the next one. What do you got next coming up next week, Dave?
We have Easter weekend, the Money Blast, and then we're over in Edwardsville, Illinois, on the turf. Naturally, it's going to be a softer weekend, which we could use after last weekend. Uh, so yeah, it's a smaller venue by design, but with Easter being on Sunday, we are playing Friday and Saturday. It's like a three game minimum. It's going to be like a round robin type thing, and in some divisions, if you make it in the top two, you'll play for a championship game. You'll get 4 games out of it. So looking forward to this weekend. We probably won't see you until next Tuesday. So want to wish everybody out there a happy Easter.
Very good. There you go. Yes, and we'll be back next Tuesday with Dave and Dave, and we'll talk a little bunny blast, right?
Bunny Blast and the Easter Turf Classic over in beautiful complex, Plummer Park.
There you go.
I didn't know if you meant like soft as because there's just so much rain in the area and the turf's going to be soft. I know that it's turf, but
no, it's like
I thought maybe the mud, the dirt, and the grass.
Won't be killing myself.
I obviously he's only got like 80 teams instead of 100 maybe. How many teams do you have this weekend? Or Easter week? Yeah, it's Easter weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's 4 divisions over in at Plummer Park and 4 divisions at Woodland. So 16 at each park. So it's a really smart venue.
Yeah.
Very good.
Cool. Well, good luck, sir.
Dave, as always, thanks, bud. Appreciate your time. Game7baseball.com. There's some if you're missing a tournament weekend, go check it out. There's still some spaces available. A lot of stuff is sold out. Game7baseball.com. Get yourself registered today. Dave, we'll see you next week. And everybody, have a great day in the Lord. All you pitchers, keep throwing strikes, and you hitters,
hit them where they ain't.
It's good advice. Doubles and dingers, baby.
Doubles and dingers.
Hit that dinger for your notifications, too. There you go. Subscribe, like, comment, all of that sort of jazz. We'll see you next time.